in. I will, before we also introduce the new features that we've integrated, really quickly run through a refresher on how to submit data so everyone knows which data we are collecting under IBNet. We have 15 KPIs and 27 management practices under 7 categories. Do you see my screen? Okay.
We see it now.
Okay. This is exactly the data that Monica is working with right now also for the analysis, and that you again will be able to see on your dashboards for now. And I'm already saying something that I'm not supposed to, but one of the new features is multi-year benchmarking. You'll hear more about it in a minute. You can always check the questions that we ask on the portal in the PDF that you can find on the website. And check them beforehand if you want to collect the data, having it ready for sharing it on the platform. We are currently facing quite some emails coming in that people are not able to register and access their portal, but that is very often due to the fact that they are not the data focal point and that they're not using the email address that was registered for their utility. So please, this is just like a heads up so that you don't face this issue as well. Reminding you also that you have access to quite a big learning space that does not only include NewIBNet events, but much more events from the entire water community from the World Bank. We publish blogs on insights from other utilities of best practices. Chris has been part of the event on non-revenue water as well, but also on increasing water supply coverage. And we have a lot of events on metering and also the upcoming Data Pioneers initiative. You do have access to all the data services for your utilities. And of course, we're always trying to reward our members for working with data. We can I would put that at the end after we covered the new features, and so that we can still have a bit of an exchange in this room. And over to you, Gil, for the new features.
Fantastic. Anna, if you could share your screen, please. You keep sharing just because the slides are already open. As Anna said, as this quick refresher, this is also part of our effort towards building this international benchmarking and showing that IBNet is a living platform. So we are always trying to accommodate some of the requests and demands from our users into the way we mobilize data, we process data, and we empower data visualizations. So just for starters, to start with from the data mobilization aspect. Sorry, let me just I see a different order here, Anna. I'll just share my screen. Oh, sorry. Apologies for this technical. Yeah, technical. But we're happy to announce that from this year onward, last year we had a pilot regarding this new functionality, but for this year is the first time we're going to conduct the full data mobilization campaign using the it's passing. Sorry, using the multi-user access. What that means is that for now we can have multiple additional contributors working in the same survey from the water sanitation utilities. Most of our users have indicated that while it's interesting to have a focal point and one person that can coordinate all that data, sometimes the data requires different areas of the utilities or different people. So to ease the burden on our users and to allow for this collaboration, we are allowing multiple users, a focal point and some additional contributors to contribute on the same survey for the water sanitation utilities. In order to do that, they have to register as NewIBNet members and indicate on the comment section they are additional contributors So they'll be given the same link to the survey, in the sense to the data entry, in the point of they're going to have access to the portal, they're going to have access to the data services, but they will be contributing in the same data entry mechanism for that water and sanitation utility. That also works other way around. If utility, the regional or utility that have different service areas, for example, that are financially independent, we can have one person reporting on behalf of 3 or 4 water and sanitation utilities. That's specifically the case for some associations, some regulators, and some utilities that have different service areas that are financially independent. We use that criteria to separate if the service areas should be reported individually or as one service area. So this is just our ways of like trying to make the data mobilization process easier and more collaborative, and listening to the demands we have from our users. Now, from the data visualization point of view, there are some couple of new features. I will go into show them as a concept here in the PowerPoint, then I will share my screen inside the portal so you can see where you see this. But for starters, now that we have collected data for more than 2 years, we have the capacity of showing performance through time. So making sure that our dashboards allow the users to compare how the utility is doing in multiple years. And we have 2 visualizations for that. The first one allow the users to see the utility, their country of reference, and some regional averages, regional and global averages. And the years are grouped in the different columns. So you see in the example in the left here, you have 2021, 2022, and 2023 as different columns. But then we also allow the users to do a yearly breakdown. So you would see the performance point of a given utility or the regional average, or the country if the utility has multiple, if the country has multiple utilities next to each other. So you see how they are evolving. So then the years become the columns, the bars, not the columns. The second one is that we have redesigned the dashboard so the experience is more seamless and it's in one dashboard. The initial headboard, the initial dashboard had pages that were, we had some feedback that were difficult to find where to go next. So we now have introduced, together with the ITS team of the World Bank, we have introduced a seamless dashboard that flows vertically, so you can scroll down on dashboard, and also adapting it to more functionality. So now you can see where most of the utility stands from a numeric point of view. There's also the capacity of migrating from the graphic view of the dashboard to the tabular view, including on the buttons on top here for those of us that want to see the numbers more closely. These the should on the left are very similar to the ones we had on all that on the previous dashboards, in the sense of you have the performance at a glance with a 15 key performance indicator for utilities that supply sanitation services, that provide sanitation services, but all the indicators for a given utility is displayed at once, and also the capacity on the graphic below to enhance and to look at one indicator with more focus. The management practices overview now also offers the score for each individual practice. We have received some feedback that although the categories climate change, commercial, financial, human resources, and so on are interesting and are good ways of starting the conversation, it would be interesting to see how I can compare with others regarding each management practices. So each area within these categories. So you would see climate change, we would have source water conservation, introduction and use of green technologies, and incentives to save water. So we would see each one of these practices and their individual score. So the practices that build the categories. The third one is that we have added some correlation analysis. Although this is an initial phase, we are now allowing users to see how different indicators can impact each other. This is only available KPIs with performance indicators with performance indicators, but this is a way to see how different utilities are doing regarding one or two and indicators, and how one or two indicators can have an impact on each other. We have fully implemented the expansion to different languages, where now IBNet is available in 4 languages, so English, French, Portuguese, and Spanish. And when I say is available, I say all the portals, tools, platforms, and dashboards are available in these 4 languages. And one thing that we are very, very proud to offer to our members, so this is for registered utilities and members of NewIBNet, is that we now have the compare function. So if you go on your portal on dashboards, utility dashboards, you're going to see a tab that's called compare that allows the utility to select 2 other utilities to compare themselves with directly. So you see, while the initial performance at a glance would show your utility, only the utility you have selected. Now you can add 2 other dots to the selection to see the performance of these 3 utilities at a glance. And this comparison also applies to the performance through time. So you can see how 1 or 2 utilities are doing together at the same graphic, and allows you to get in contact with them through the NewIBNet community or through the NewIBNet team. If you say, hey, I'm particularly interested in knowing or learning from one or 2 utilities, can you please connect us? We'll be more than happy to do so. So these are conceptually, I went too far. This is conceptually what we've been preparing and how we are maximizing the benefits of IBNet. And now I'm going to show you how you can find that, because that's also important, right? So as you can see on my screen that I'll be sharing now, this is the NewIBNet portal that you should be familiar. If you have any access issues or any trouble accessing it, please let us know. We'll be more than happy to help you fixing it. And just to clarify that some of the access issues are regarding security. So IBNet, as Anna pointed out, IBNet uses a single sign-on mechanism that allows the users to connect without having to create a new password and a new login. But that also means that the verification mechanisms in place for the safety of our data and for the safety of our users have to be very, very tight. So this portal is slightly different because you're seeing the developers portal. But I just want to point that if you go, the new utility dashboard is here, but I'm going to go to the utility dashboard because that offers a better view on the dashboard. There's now the capacity to download some of the reports, both in graphic, if you want to share with your colleagues, with your managers, or with the regulator. So you can select one utility and download and print the portal. So we'll give you a PDF version of the selected report. And as I told you, we are now in the process of implementing some metadata regarding the utilities. So would allow the utility to not only understand the other utility's name, but also if the utility provides water and wastewater services, if the utility are in more or less same of population service size. This will be groupings. I am going to pick a utility here for an example. So you see, we are still implementing, so there's still some of the RNA, but you will be able to see, for example, the name of the utility, if it provides water and wastewater services, if it serves between 5 to 10,000, 10,000 to 50,000, 50,000 to 100,000, 100,000, and so on until up to like more than 5 million. So we make these groupings so we can allow the users to understand the size of the utility from 2 metrics, both in terms of the people they serve, but also in terms of the number of connections that they have. You see the number of connections feature, and also what is the legal entity, because we believe that these are crucial points on understanding a utility as an actor. So you see the performance overview. Now, if you hover over, you can see the range from where most utilities have reported values. If you hover over the point, you see the point of the utility has reported. We've shown some single indicator overview, where as well we have the performance through time, the yearly breakdown, and the indicator correlations. So I would invite you to come and explore on your portal these functionalities. I just want to show you how the tabular view works. So you have the graphic view here. So you have the capacity to see these values in, oops, wrong. In a tabular view for those that are more numeric. There you go. So if you want to compare the utilities on this given indicator for this given years, I want to show the compare function. We've tried to keep the same structure so it makes it easy to navigate from one dashboard to the other. But this is where you can select your utility. I'm gonna still use the colleagues from Portugal as an example, but I'm going to compare with two other utilities, and you'll be able to see that, since the colleagues from Kenya are here, I'm going to pick their colleagues in Nairobi. So you're going to be able to see how that plays into the same dashboard. So as you see, this is your capacity to directly compare. This is something that was requested to the NewIBNET team. I want to compare directly with given utilities. So yeah, you can also see that the averages show and they follow your selection, and you can also download the report. And yes, you can download the report and show it on tabular version. This is very, very briefly some of the new developments that we are very happy to share with our members. If you have any questions, any comments, do not hesitate to come forward and bring them to our attention. We will try to solve them as fast as possible. If there are problems, we'll try to talk about them as much as we can if they are questions.